think of Africa, I think of all the impoverished children that are always looking for help.
When I think of Africa, I think of poverty and how uncivilized they are and need more structured development.
Most people do not know the truth about Africa and rely on the myth that their own civilizations brought about things instead of learning things from others. Africa is known to have the earliest human history, dating back farther than any other continent in the world. The geography of Africa plays a huge role in not only the history of people, but the history of all human beings. The continent of Africa is the only place in which evidence of man's early evolution have been found. Charles Darwin proposed that Africa would prove to be the homeland of all humans. In the last 50 years, researchers in the field, such as archaeology and genetics, have proven Darwin's hypothesis correct. The earliest people were referred to as hominins, a biological term that refers to the human or human-like creature. The evolution of these first hominins continued for thousands of years. About 200,000 years ago, the rise of Homo sapiens populated the Earth. The ultimate truth about the many firsts about pre-modern Africa is that many of what we have today came from the first people that lived here. They have laid the groundwork for all people. They gave us the ideas and thoughts on many things, like government, philosophy, and religion.
Africa has a great religious diversity that some people may be quick to overlook. Because the religions in Africa range widely due to geographic location, ethnicity, and culture, it is easy to assume that many people share the same religions or religious practices. Without prior knowledge of the diverse religious spectrum, one might assume that the people of Africa would not accept Christianity or other major religions as a practice. However, historians believe that some of the first scholars to come up with a theology of the religion in 1st century CE were in Alexandria, Egypt at the time of creating parts of their religion. Islam slowly began to emerge as a dominant religion also. Not only do some peoples in Africa practice these religions, some also have other practices that are unique to their own way of life and culture. For instance, the belief in spirits is very common among some cultures. Africa is very diverse in religious practices, and some even impact other parts of the world. Religion in itself is a major reason as to why we should study Africa. Understanding the many religions allows us to better understand the people, history, and their way of life.
Dating back over 1,500 years ago, Africans have always used the simple crop rice to survive in multiple ways. Africa has up to 50,000 different plants in its savannas and forests, full of different fruits along with some other high-yielding crops. But one of the most beneficial crops to the Africans is rice. Historians believe that Africans discovered the rice in the Niger riverbed in the BCE. After finding it in the riverbeds, they soon figured out that rice grains were floating all along the Niger. They soon realized that this would be their main source of food. Not only was it cheap, but it was also easy to access and grow. Most do not understand that Africa was very rich in resources and agriculture, rice being one of the most common. Over 60% of their land can be irrigated for growing crops. They just don't simply have the supplies to further their growth. This is why people seem to get the idea that African culture is behind in agricultural production.
Mankind has expressed their imaginative thoughts through art since the beginning of time, beginning with Homo sapiens wall art. Art notably advanced after the discovery and study of mathematics. Along the known mathematics that the study of Africa have brought to light is the fact that Egyptians and other ancient civilizations used and were fond of the golden ratio. Its use is most noticeable through the ancient pyramids. The introduction of mathematics into art led to numerous social advancements, including the formation of groups within the civilization. For example, the stonemasons of Egypt played an invaluable part in crafting the stones that built the Great Pyramids. The early Iron Age produced countless forms of pottery, such as microliths, and the discovery of metals, most importantly iron, aided in the transition for pottery to cater to the everyday needs that came along with the Neolithic era. Among the best potters of the Ode were the Nok culture, which was exhibited through their elaborate terracotta sculptures dating back to 500 BCE.
Africa has been extremely organized long before Europeans settled in the Americas. They developed an intricate trading network that spanned from the northern coast at Carthage throughout the Sahara Desert. Staples of this trade included salt, pottery, and even gold. Many societies, such as ancient Ghana, built their empires as a direct result from this trade, particularly gold. Although it was the Phoenicians at Carthage that organized this network, they relied on the Berbers to conduct this trade as they were skilled in the outdoors.